Hi, so in this video, I'm going to quickly introduce you to Dash by Plotly. That's dash.plotly.com. And as you can see from their website, they have a wealth of information there, including an introductory video of their own. So I won't try and do it justice by going through the details. I'm just going to highlight a few things that jumped out at me. So very quickly, what is Dash? It's a web analytics application framework built in Flask, React.js, and Plotly. And as far as the user is concerned, the UI is also written purely in Python. The translation into JS is done for you. So before we dive into what Dash looks like, let's take a step back and have a look at what a typical client-server model would look like. For example, with Flask or Django, you would define the REST endpoints like so. There could be get, post, put, or delete methods. Then you launch the backend server app like so. Typically, you would test this locally first. Then you would typically fire up the UI in your browser separately. And if you pull up the developer tools, you'll be able to see your UI communicating with the server-side backend by sending it requests in the query string parameters or the body, typically in JSON, and also the server side responding with JSON information, which then populates the client UI. And that's how it all hangs together. You may also choose to test your server-side REST endpoints with Postman if you haven't built your UI yet. So again, you would send over the JSON body, and assuming the application type is JSON, it will also respond with JSON. So let's now contrast that with how the Dash development process looks like. The key difference is you don't need to manage the marshalling between the client and server, and the user inputs reflect directly in the server's Python interpreter. There is something to be said about the simplicity of having all your inputs and state in the same process. So let's have a quick look at an example of Dash's programming model. You define an app which is backed by Flask. You then define an HTML layout, so what you want the UI to look like. You tag each interactive component with an ID. So there are two here, an input and an output. You then define functions that handle that I/O, decorated by this callback decorator, which then refer to the input as per above, and the output as per above. And so what the end user sees on their side is an input, which you can change the value of. And you can see the output change accordingly, just as per defined above. You can define graphs with multiple inputs, backed by pandas data frames, and they'll be rendered with Plotly components. And as you can see, as you change the inputs, the graph changes as well. And lastly, you can have chained inputs where the output of one component goes into the next. Like so, you've got the top level input. If you change it to Canada, you have different options, and then the final output here. So it is very graph-like, the dependency tree, similar to the DAG we discussed last week. As you can see, Dash components are fairly modular, so you only need to pip install the ones you're interested in. There are core components, then more elaborate HTML components, and if you want, some Bootstrap components as well. I'd like to bring your attention to my favorite component, which is the Dash data table, which basically allows you to render data frames or any tabular data as both input and output. Now that's a key point. At first glance, the data table may not seem as feature-rich as something like AG Grid, for example, and you may think the features of AG Grid are worth marshalling JSON data over to the JS side and rendering it there. The rail power comes from using this table as an input. So for example, if I sort this table by population, you see that the graph changes, so it has the ability to influence other components. You can even make the table editable, so that if I change some numbers here, you also see it affects the graph below. So the possibilities are limitless. It's also worth noting that any changes you make on the table here, be they to a cell or a row or multiple rows, can be captured as callbacks in your Python interpreter directly, again without you having to marshal any data back to the server side. Furthermore, you could add a button to take a snapshot of the tabular data at any point and save it back into a data frame or persist that to a database should you choose. And lastly, just for completeness, these tables will give you basic Excel-like functionality like sorting, filtering, selection, deletion, uploading a CSV, and the number one feature of any BI tool, the infamous export to Excel. As you can see, you can export it to a file. Next, for very large datasets, you may choose to apply virtualization. So instead of loading the entire dataset into the browser memory, it only loads a subset at a time as you scroll. This is as opposed to pagination, obviously, which may give the end user a more seamless interactive experience. So just a quick recap, Dash distinguishes itself by eliminating the need to marshal between the client and server. UI inputs reflect directly in the server's interpreter, i.e. the callbacks are in Python. Tables are not only used to display data, but they can be used as inputs as well. But if you plan to use your tables mainly for output and display purposes, I would still recommend AGGrid for its larger set of features. And last but not least, Dash has Plotly chart support natively because it was built by the same folks. I'd encourage you to have a look at the Dash app gallery, where you'll find a wealth of real-world dashboard examples backed by real-world data, which will hopefully inspire you to build something dashing of your own. And on that terrible pun of a note, I will leave you to explore Dash in your own time. Hope that helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll try to get to them. Thank you.